Consider the fractions 1 over a, 1 over b, and 1 over c, where a and b are distinct prime numbers greater than 3, and c is equal to a times 3. Suppose that a times b times c is used as a common denominator when finding the sum of the fractions. In order for the sum to be in lowest terms, its numerator and denominator must be reduced by a factor of which of the following. I think problems like this, it's to your advantage to choose arbitrary numbers that fulfill the criteria above. So let's start with a. It says a must be a prime number greater than 3. So prime numbers, remember, are numbers that are achieved by only being able to divide itself by 1 and itself. And 1 can never be prime. So real quick, prime numbers would be 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and so on. So I like to work with smaller numbers. The first prime number greater than 3 is 5. I also want that a and b to be different prime numbers. So if a is 5, I'm going to make b 7. Now I'm going to write this down. 1 over a, okay, that's 1 over 5. And then 1 over b, that's 1 over 7. Now what is c? C is going to be 3 times a. Well, my a, I decided on 5, so 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, it tells us that we're going to go ahead and find a common denominator so that we could find the sum, which means to add these together. When I use the calculator, it's going to put things into reduced form for me. So I'm going to see what I could achieve for an answer if I went ahead and simply use the calculator. Okay, whoops, I forgot to put a 1 in there. 1 divided by 15. I get an answer, I turn it back in. So I know that the reduced answer is 43 over 105. That's a reduced answer. Now it says in order to find the common denominator, it took a times b times c. So a times b times c. So a times b times c for a common denominator, I put that in wrong. I was supposed to multiply them, excuse me. A times b times c would be 525. And so what this question is asking, in order for us to reduce it and put in reduced form, what did I have to reduce it by? So what value am I going to divide 525 by? What value am I dividing by to come up with 105? So I'm going to write this down. 525 divided by what unknown value is equal to 105? Well, let's cross multiply. 525 times 1 is 525. 105 times x is 105x, then I divide by 105. I grab the calculator and take 525 divided by 105, and I end up with 5. So I believe the answer is 5. Notice that 5 is not an option, but 5 is equal to a. So even if you chose different arbitrary numbers, and then remember they have to be prime numbers greater than 3. So maybe if you'd have chosen 7 and 11, and if this was 7, this would become 21 because c is 3 times 8, you would receive the exact same answer.